Hello, Revere, and welcome to the Revere Senior News for the month of April. We have my co-host here, Steve Fielding from the Revere Senior Center, and we have a special real guest who Steve will introduce later. But you have a lot of things to say about what's going on in April, Steve, so start it off.
Thank you, and I'm glad we have a real guest and not a fake guest,
No.
So that would be good. So, folks, I just want to give you some information about the Rossetti Cowan Senior Center, and the first thing I want to tell you about that's happening in April is that on April 5th, between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., Mayor Arrigo and his staff will be down at the Revere Senior Center at 25 Winthrop Avenue, and they're going to talk about the Water Sewer Department's offering of a discount on water and sewer for seniors. And they will talk to you and have eligibility forms and also conduct a Q&A for seniors. So if you are in the audience and you're not at the Senior Center on a particular Thursday, come on down and tell your friends about it, and maybe you will qualify for a water sewer discount.
As a senior, is there any age limit on that?
You know, it says right here you have to be a property owner 65 years or older.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and you have to own and occupy the property, and the property must be a 3-family or less. There's other eligibility requirements which they will go over. So I just wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that in April, you know, we have special monthly lunches, Morris. And
Yep.
in April, we have our spring luncheon, if we have spring this year. We have a special monthly luncheon every month. This month in April, on April 26th, we have the Powers School of Music out of Belmont, and this is the 3rd year they've been down. They conduct a neighborhood concert series, and they're going to play songs from the Great American Songbook, which are songs from the 30s, 40s, and into the 50s. And we have 2 faculty members that will be coming. One will play the piano and one will play the bass, and they will play classics from such artists as Hoagy Carmichael, Cole Porter, George Gershwin, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, and more. So I think this really fits, you know, the senior population that attends the Senior Center. If you want to come down, you have to call ahead of time and make a reservation. For these special monthly luncheons, it's $4. That includes lunch and entertainment. So make sure you book early because they get filled up early. Going on to the Revere Senior Power, which is the senior newsletter for April. I just want to touch on a couple of key dates before we talk to our special guest. But prior to that, I want people to remember to save the date, and our special guest will be there, I'm hopeful, for the 2018 Health Awareness Day that's going to be held on Thursday, June 14th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is the 3rd or 4th year that we've done this. And we hope to have a lot of good healthcare professionals and other vendors, and they'll be able to ask questions and determine what needs they might have and where they might go to acquire help for those needs. I just want to make a shout out to a couple of courses that we offer. One is fairly new, Chair Yoga with Bibiana Gomez, and that's every Friday at 11:15 upstairs in the multi-purpose room. I want people to realize that Bill Barron is back for Tai Chi. He was our Tai Chi instructor, and he is there every Monday at 9:30. We're trying to build that class back up. He took a sabbatical for a while. He's been back since middle of March, and we're looking to increase that class. The Latin Gold class with Miguel Vargas is doing extremely well. That's every Tuesday from 10:15 to 11:15, and that's a great class, and we may even add a second class. Other classes that are doing extremely well and that are offered to seniors to help them with mobility and flexibility and strength and core is our core and balance workout 3 times a week, our combo exercise on Thursday mornings at 10:30. We also have the senior book club, and we always have trips going to either Foxwoods or Mohegan in the nice weather, and we have a computer class that's ongoing, both basic and advanced. Very quickly now are the key dates. If you want to join the book club, April 19th, 2:30 with librarian Janice Van Hoekelum from 2:30 to 3:30. We have a movie every Wednesday on an 80-inch flat screen TV. They're all classics, and they're new ones as well. And as I mentioned, we have the special lunch on April 26th. Our special guest, who I will introduce in a second, comes down for blood pressure and consultations for seniors. And she is usually there the first and third Thursday, April 5th and 19th. That's subject to change depending on her schedule, because she does serve the whole city, and it's from 11 to 12 usually. Our monthly hearing program with Mary Marino is April 26th from 10 to 12. We also have Barbara McDonald, who is our chair masseuse, and she's usually there the second Monday of every month, and she will be there April 9th. And last but not least, we have a podiatry clinic with Dr. Kaplan. He is there every first Wednesday of the month, and in April, it's April 4th. We get that out of the way.
Okay.
And I'd like to introduce our special guest.
I was going to do this.
Oh, you're going to introduce the special guest?
No, I was.
Oh, you were going to do the announcement.
No,
All right.
no. I was going to do the slaughterhouse.
Oh, you can do
and
that.
then
I'm
throw
sorry.
it back at you to throw.
All right. As you know, folks, this is a very informative but informal show, so we have a little banter back and forth. We are prepared, but we do ad hoc as well. So I want to throw it back to Morris.
Okay, this came to me the other day. Ann Raponi, who's a member of the Revere Conservation Committee, is going to have their annual flea market Sunday, April the 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Jack's Cider House at 420 Revere Beach Boulevard. Their telephone number, if you want more information, is 781-289-4505. They will have many great items to choose from, such as jewelry, ladies' handbags, household items, and portraits. There will be refreshments and homemade cooking for you to enjoy. Now I'm going to let you introduce our very great special guest.
Our great special guest is City of Revere Public Health Nurse Carol Donovan. Welcome, Carol.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank you
the
for
offer to
coming
be
too,
here.
Carol.
It's
You're
great to
welcome.
have you. Great to have you. And you've been coming to the Senior Center for many, many years.
Many years, about 14 years, yeah.
14 years.
Love
wow.
it. On April 5th and 19th, I will be there with students from UMass. They're nursing students that I precept. And if it's okay with you, I will bring them in.
Absolutely.
So come join us on April 5th and 19th for Blood Pressure Clinic, 11 to 12.
At the
two
Revere
Thursdays.
Senior
At
Center.
the Revere Senior Center.
That's great. We always welcome younger people, that's for sure. And I always encourage
fun.
seniors to bring their grandchildren in for
Yeah.
the day or whatever. We just love that.
That's fun.
And we've had the high school kids down, and we've had interviews. You were interviewed by the high school kids, and
Yep.
you know, it's great.
The only thing I do have to say about the high school kids, some of them were very brilliant, but they knew very little about 1941 and 1945. And I can understand that because they weren't around
Yeah.
then.
But anyway, I know that you had to do a lot of research since Carol was here, coming here, right? So you have some questions that you wanted to start off with.
These are questions that were given to me by people at the Senior Center.
Okay.
And they put them on the computer and they put them on a paper, so I can't read the paper, so I'll read the computer. Carol, this comes from a woman at the Senior Center. What are the danger signs of diabetes? Could you explain that to us, please?
Signs of diabetes, it's better to get it before there are signs. If you have checkups by the doctor, he can see your blood and he can see the rising need for monitoring of sugar and blood sugar. Signs that if you didn't go to the doctor and you have if you're diabetic, would be very, very thirsty. You'd be flushed all the time, feel
What do you mean by
hot.
flushed? You mean sweating?
Feel hot, yeah. Those are signs when the blood sugar is very, very high. You may feel nauseous and vomiting. You just don't feel good. But the best way to prevent the symptoms, what you don't want, is to have routine blood checks by your physician.
And I understand now there's a concentration on pre-diabetes.
Yeah.
And they give that A1C test.
A1C is the test, yeah.
Why don't you tell people, I know what that is.
Okay, it is a blood test that shows not the effect of sugar intake, but over time how your sugar has affected your body.
Right.
And it is a great test to show pre-diabetes, diabetic problems,
Right.
or any issues you may
Yeah,
have.
and I understand that if you have a, I guess that's a number, 7, or
Oh,
higher, then
seven's
you're in
not
trouble,
good.
right?
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you need to have it checked out.
I'm not sure, I haven't looked this up, but I think 7 is when you start medication.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Either pills or insulin. 1 to 5 is usually considered pretty good. 1 to 3 is even better.
Yeah.
So you can watch your triglycerides also. It's another blood test.
Okay.
That monitors sugar in the blood.
Great. Great.
You go ask her the next question, Steve.
Well, at the senior center, we deal with a lot of people who take a lot of medications.
Right.
And when they take medications, one, it's more important when they talk to their doctor about adding, or if they're taking multiple medications, to make sure that they don't have adverse side effects.
Right.
And that's one thing. How do you monitor that? And then how do you make sure that you take the right dosage every day for the right medication?
Yeah, that can become tricky. With medication, the internet is an awesome tool for doctors, for pharmacists, for patients, just to see that medication dosage is, the routine dosage is, you're within the regulated dosages. Now for yourself, you're on the bottle and on the prescription and on the label that comes with the bottle, you'll see the dosages needed for the people, for the person. So
Right.
your dose and my dose may be different.
Right.
Could be depending on weight, it could be depending on severity of illness. So I can't look at your bottle to see what I can take.
Right.
I have to look at my bottle to see.
And it's important, I forget what the name is, they sometimes have those plastic trays with the days of the week lined
Yeah,
up.
Sunday,
and
Monday,
then
yeah.
they're color coded by the type of pill that you're supposed to take, so that
Sometimes,
you
yeah.
know you took one, and
Yeah.
you don't go back and take the same one again when you're not supposed to, right?
Oh, like my memory. If I take it in the morning, I'm wondering at night, did I take it?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
if Sunday is gone and it's Sunday, I know I took it.
Yep.
So go ahead. You have other
No,
questions?
I do have a question,
Okay.
and this is a good one right here. What prompted you to become a nurse to begin with?
Oh,
If
boy.
I may ask you, how long have you been a nurse? That's what he wants to know.
I became a nurse in 1984, so it's been a while.
Wow,
34 years, I
That's
think.
almost 35 years.
Yeah. I was prompted to become a nurse because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't want to be a teacher because I felt like I wanted something to do with my hands. And I felt like, now I've learned better, but I felt that teachers just stand and teach. Whereas I actually wanted to be a car mechanic, but at that day, in that time, I guess we didn't do that as women, and now we can. But my guidance counselor actually suggested nursing because he said there is many opportunities in nursing and many different kinds of nursing. So that's why I went into nursing.
I would like to say one thing, and I got this off the computer. If you had been a nurse in 1924, your yearly salary, listen to this, would have been $1,390 annually.
Oh, really?
So you're lucky you were born later on.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
And now they have specialties in the nursing field, right? I mean,
Right.
you can
Oh,
go
yeah.
into, like for seniors, you can go into gerontology
Sure.
or whatever.
Public health is a
Public health
specialty,
one.
yeah,
So
yeah.
was that offered when you first started?
Yeah, I did a rotation in public health, and I loved it in 1983.
Yeah.
I graduated in 1984. And then I went into regular nursing, floor nursing.
So are you an RN?
Yes.
Okay, and where did you get your degree?
Boston College.
You did.
That's a terrific school, by the
It
way.
was a lot. Yeah, it was
Yep.
really nice.
Great.
Go ahead, Steve. You can-
Well, the other thing that I've gotten questions about at the senior center is how to prevent you from falling.
Okay.
Now, as a nurse, I'm sure you've gone to homes where seniors have fallen, and so there are certain things, and we've talked about this on the show. Make sure your rugs, are adhered to the floor. Make sure that hassocks and
Right.
stools are out of the way.
Right.
Is that a common problem for seniors when you have gone out to the homes?
Seniors and younger people.
Younger
too.
people,
Younger
too.
adults, yeah. One of the biggest problems I see is people that walk around in stocking feet, socks. They're slippery, and if you go
Yeah.
from the rug to the tile or to the hardwood,
Right.
it becomes very slippery.
That's why
So
when I
that's
was in
a
the
lot of-
hospital, Carol, I got the green socks and the thin socks that do not slide along.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I got
that's
them on
the
now.
bottom. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a recommendation. Don't wear stocking feet in the house.
Right.
Either barefoot or sneakers or something that grips.
So I know that you come to the senior center and you deal with a lot of seniors and help them with their health issues, but you also are involved in the school system.
I am. I'm the supervisor
So-
of the school nurses.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you deal with two
great job.
totally different
Yeah.
populations.
Kind of.
Are there any similarities?
Similarities. I think medication and the diseases that we see now
Yep.
are kind of, I don't want to say they're similar, but yeah, the kids are getting what kids didn't have in the past. And I don't really know the reason. I know our diet has changed severely.
Right.
The high fructose corn syrup that's been included in our diets is causing diabetes in everyone. Heart disease is a common thing. It's just the diseases are seen throughout the grades.
I have a good question for you. When I
Okay.
was at the Brockton VA, we had pets. I mean, I didn't have a pet, but there was people, soldiers there that did have pets.
Okay.
Is that good for the seniors to have, like a dog or a cat? No, don't laugh. I know you think it's funny.
No, I don't think it's funny. I don't.
No, but I mean, they say sometimes it's good for the seniors to have an animal with them.
I've heard that it decreases stress, it decreases blood pressure. It causes people to really think about their intake because they don't want their dog or cat to get sick.
Right.
So they worry about, and it affects. I love dogs and cats, so I would tell everyone to have one, but I think that's a personal choice.
I got it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just
gonna
going to say,
change-
I have a friend of mine that has a retired greyhound, and she takes him to assisted living centers all over
That's nice.
Massachusetts. And, this is a dog that has had a racing career, so he didn't have a lot of affection.
Right.
So he's getting something in
Affection.
return for helping seniors. He's getting patted and feels comfortable.
Yeah,
And he's
nice.
also giving seniors a sense of security and peace, by having them come and he pets them and he snuggles with them, so it's nice.
It is nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Right. This gentleman told me to ask a question about this here. They had a meeting at the council the other night about trash bags, plastic bags. People take dogs out for a walk or people go shopping. When a dog or a poops, they clean it up. And if they throw it into a paper bag and it's wet, you know what's going to happen. It's going to go right through. They would prefer to keep the plastic bags in the city of Revere. And I think that's a great idea, Steve. I mean, I know it may not have nothing to do much with what we're talking about, but people do take animals, and we did talk about animals.
Well, the questions that we were presenting to Carol are from seniors, so they're all over the place. They're not streamlined and they're not by
That's what I
subject
mean.
matter. So
Right.
we're just trying to capture whatever they asked us. I did have a question in regard to the opioid problem, and that's not restricted to young people.
Right.
So as we talked about earlier, doctors tend to give a lot of older folks a lot of medications.
Right.
And sometimes it's for pain, and sometimes it could be serious medication like Vicodin or other serious, or oxycodone or something like that.
Powerful stuff. Yeah.
Just powerful stuff. So that's something that seniors really need help to monitor as well. And I'm hoping that if they have a caretaker, whether it's a family member or a home health aide or a nurse that comes in, that they're being monitored.
That's the key, yeah. Your family, your support systems are the key to good health.
Here's another question
when
for you, Carol.
medications- Yeah,
Marijuana is coming into the city of Revere.
okay.
Is that a good thing to have the medicine of marijuana coming in, or leave it up to the doctors to handle it? I mean,
That would be my answer. I would think
I
leave
would
it up
think
to
so,
the
too.
doctors to handle it, but
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know. It's like alcohol. I mean, anything in moderation is okay. If you overdo it, it's not, so.
talking about alcohol, but this is, I don't think this has anything to do with it. This woman says she cannot put sugar on her food, and she told by the doctor not to put sugar on her food. Does that have to do with what we talked about before? Or is there other diseases that you can have that you cannot use sugar?
I would say the doctor would say that because her triglycerides were probably high. She probably had free-flowing sugar in her blood, and he could see it with the triglyceride level, and that was his.
Oh, that would do it?
That would definitely do it.
Okay. So I hope she's listening when we do the show.
All right, so I was talking to a woman at the senior center yesterday, and she's comes to you every month to have her blood pressure checked. And I think that they rely on you to come down and do that, and you have the same people every month just about
Kind of.
anyway. But I mean, I think that it's important that you do that and you give them advice should their blood pressure be high, and but hopefully they're following that up with their own physician as well. I think you would probably recommend that too.
Definitely do.
Not just to
Yeah.
rely on once a month that you do it,
Right.
but when they do go for their particular visits, that they make sure that that's taken again and in check.
Yeah, and the other thing we do is I provide them with paperwork that would show what I get on
Oh,
the
you
date
do?
that I
Okay.
take it.
Yeah.
Your pressure can be different. You can have a high blood pressure at work and a low one at home, or vice versa, a high one at home and a low one at work.
Right.
So I think that the key to monitoring your blood pressure is doing it throughout the day at different times of the day.
Well,
Maybe
I
once
know
or
you've
twice a
taken
month.
my blood pressure through the roof at times, and then later you
It's
take
fine.
it again.
Sure.
And it could be at the moment I was
Right.
running around, or there was an issue that had.
Or you ate something.
Or
You
ate
put it up.
something, and
Sure.
then later you took it again, said, "Let's check it again." You said to me, and then it was back to normal.
And now you're normal.
Well, I don't know if I'm normal, but at that point it was.
Carol, would
Yeah.
you recommend exercise to lower blood pressure?
I recommend exercise for life, just for good health.
Then I'd like to be
Yeah.
a devil's advocate on this one. If you exercise, doesn't that make your blood pressure really build up high?
No. What are you doing? Are you lifting heavy weights?
You're running.
that
You're
would-
running.
No, running and walking,
Jogging?
fast jogging. I mean, I'm not going to be running anywhere. That wouldn't work for me.
Oh, me
and I'm not
neither.
a walker either.
I'm lucky I can even walk.
I'm a very poor exerciser. I do stretch. I do like stretching exercises.
But that doesn't affect you in any way. I mean, exercise wouldn't do you
If
any harm.
if you're doing a moderate exercise, it should not affect your blood pressure, or your general health should get better as you do it.
Okay, talking about blood pressure, I want to split up the questions with him, if I may.
Go ahead.
There's 3 questions here that were given to me. You can pick any one of the 3. You either 1, 2, or 3.
Okay. What is your average blood pressure? Is there a standard or is it individual?
It's individual.
Okay.
I was going to say, what is my average blood pressure? You don't want to know. Blood pressure reading is an individual reading. And what I'm reading now is doctors want to see your blood pressure be what it was when you were in your early 20s. So if you were 116/60 in your early 20s, they want you to be that now.
That was
Now?
a long time ago. Wow, for you it's even longer.
No.
Yes, but they feel that in my early 20s, I was never 116/60. I was always like 120/70.
I had mine
So
taken
that-
2 days. When was she over the house? Sunday, excuse me. The nurse came over my visiting night. 120/68. Is that fair?
That's very good. Yeah.
That is good?
I think so.
See, it pays to have all those pets that you
I
have.
think that's the food at the senior center. That's
Senior
doing
center
that.
food and all the pets. Yeah.
Yeah, must have been the
Okay.
old neighborhood hot dogs that did it.
Okay, average?
All
High.
right. What is the average high blood pressure? What is the average low blood pressure?
The boundaries we like to work with for high blood pressure is 140/90. And then we'll start talking about medication, pills, lifestyle changes, exercise,
Right.
diet, weight loss if possible.
Okay.
If you are a heavy person and lose weight, your blood pressure and your blood sugar probably will drop.
All right. Now, Morris, I'm looking at the clock. We have about 4 minutes.
Right,
I don't
Carol,
want to
but
run out of time.
I was going to ask you another question, if I may.
Go ahead.
And I'd like to ask personally my question. I have an ulcer foot that I got infected.
Oh, boy.
And they did the slicing surgery off with it in
Yeah.
there. How much, and they said it got into the bone.
Oh, no.
How much of the bone could they actually, and a lot of people do have what I have, by the way.
Yeah.
How much of the bone can they take off before it becomes where the foot has to go? In other words, is there any limit to how I think?
I'm not orthopedic, but I don't, I think with an infection, they'd have to worry about how far into the bone
Well,
it got.
like the nurse comes in, she debrides it and cleans it and everything else
Okay.
to keep it from spreading.
Right.
Right, but you can't go on your whole life having a nurse come into the house.
Well, if you have to have somebody help you do that until it's healed over. Once it heals, you don't need anyone, and it should heal. And that's the key to whether or not you need the foot amputated or not. If you have something that doesn't heal, and if it gets gangrenous, if it gets infected so
What are
badly.
the signs of gangrene? That's a good question I was going to ask.
Green, black skin, green, black area.
That's what they were slicing off black on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's a sign of gangrene?
Well, infection, bad infection.
Oh, that is affected.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Carol, we got like now 3 minutes. Take a couple of minutes yourself to speak about anything you like.
Okay. What do I speak about? You can call me with any questions you have. It's 781-286-8176. And I get a lot of questions throughout the days.
Yeah, but here's one in particular that was asked.
Uh-oh, another one?
No, yeah, about the hotline. If people want to get a hold of a nurse during 24/7, but the best thing would be to call you, I think.
Well, I'm not 24/7.
No, but you can tell them how to
yeah.
get a hold of you.
Well, if you dial that number and I'm not there, you can leave a message for me and I'll get back to you.
And that number, can you give it to us one more time?
781-286-8176. So that's the health department.
Okay.
All right, first of all, I want to thank you for coming. And I especially thank you for coming to the Senior Center every month.
Oh, I enjoy it.
It's very important, and people love you, and you're very compassionate.
Thank
you.
you.
You really love what you're doing for
I
the
do.
seniors, I can tell that, and you've been there long before I got there, and I hope you stay a long time.
Thank you,
So,
Steve.
really appreciate that.
It's very nice.
If you're a senior out there and you don't come to the Senior Center, I encourage you to come to a nice, warm, fun, safe, positive, welcoming environment. And you get to meet Carol twice a month. You'll get to see Morris every day and listen to his music. And you'll get to take advantage, I know what you're going to say.
I'm not going to say
Okay,
it.
okay. You're going to take advantage of a lot of things that we have at the Senior Center. You can find out more about the Senior Center by going on revere.org, the Elder Affairs page, and go under quick links and you'll see all the information that you need to know about the Senior Center. Just stop by, I'll give you a personal tour. So please come, there's something for everybody.
Right, and it would be good for every senior who's 60 years and on up to come to our Senior Center just to check it out, and they'll love it once they see it. That would be great. So since we have a minute left, I was going to say, Carol, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you come.
Thank you, Morris.
And like Steve said, it's great to keep you as a nurse for the City of Revere for another
Thank
100
you.
years.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
I'll
That
be
would
very old.
terrific. And I would like to thank the people out there for listening to us, because we do have a great show and we do have great guests like yourself. And so I would like to close by saying God bless our troops serving and who have served. God bless the people of Revere. But most of all, God bless our great country, the United States of America. And then thank you all for coming.